My introduction to the Holocaust came at age 9 with Andy, the most unusual man in the most unlikely of places. Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, 1978. My family was vacationing in my aunt and uncle's new condo. Next door was a friendly but eccentric older man named Andy Winters. One day, I noticed a strange tattoo on Andy's arm. I'd seen blue ink tattoos on the old Navy vets at home. I asked my grandmother why he would ever get such a tattoo. She replied that Andy was a Holocaust survivor. While he was reluctant to speak to us younger kids, Andy and my grandmother would often sit and talk on the patio decks at night. He had told her his story. Andy Winters was part of a large Polish family, much like this one. He was a teenager when the Nazis invaded his country, when the life that he knew ended. About a year or so after the German invasion, he and his family were ordered into a concentration camp. Their destination was Auschwitz-Birkenau. Andy was only 15 when he entered the gates that deceptively promised Arbeit macht frei. Andy's grandparents and 2 younger siblings were sent to their deaths in the gas chamber at Auschwitz. His parents endured years of forced labor until their deaths through sickness and malnourishment. Only Andy and his older sister survived to experience liberation in the spring of 1945. Like many survivors, Andy and his sister left Europe behind after the war. They came to New York City. Here, Andy attended college and then started his own business. His sister soon married and started a family of her own. Over the next 30 years, Andy built a successful business and became a wealthy man. However, he never married. At night, he slept on the roofs and fire escapes of his apartment buildings, unable to sleep indoors, refusing to be confined by any walls. In the late 1970s, Andy sold his business and retired to the coast of South Carolina. He wanted to be able to sleep without freezing, he told my grandmother. During the day, Andy followed a strict exercise regimen. He also read every newspaper he could get his hands on. He spoke often to her of the importance of being watchful about events, also staying physically fit. My uncle sold that condo later that year and bought another one in another part of the island. We never saw Andy Winters anymore after that summer. Although that was 35 years ago, I still think of Andy every time I see a photo from Auschwitz. But then I also think of him walking on the Carolina beach. That's the image I will always have of him. Cut off denim shorts, flip-flops,